Okay, so this is really just, I've just laid out some cards. I'm just gonna put this at the beginning of all of the videos, just to let you guys know what the June spread actually is like. So I'm just gonna walk you through that here at the beginning so that you know what the spread covers, what each of the cards is going to represent. Then after this, I'm gonna film the pre-shuffle because I've had several people actually request that. I'm not sure why, but I'm going to do that, and I'll probably just speed it up just because I can't imagine anyone wants to sit and watch however long it takes for all the cards to come out. But I will actually film that and play that as well following this, and then we'll go into the actual reading. So if you don't want to watch that, I'm going to put some time markers up for you guys here at the beginning so that you know where things are during the actual reading itself. And with that explained, I'm going to walk you guys through the cards. So we're going to be starting here on the side. This card number 1 is going to represent the overall energy for the reading, and then we're going to work from the left across to the right. And so it's going to be card number 1, and then card number 2 will actually be the card on top. These cards here on the top, so these 4 cards here, these cards are specific to the sign. So whichever sign I'm doing in the video, the top 4 cards, so these cards here, those are going to represent the sign itself. So these 4 here on the bottom are going to represent the other person. So for example, if you are watching your own sun, moon, Venus, or rising sign video, then these top 4 cards are going to be the cards that relate to you. The bottom 4 cards would be the card related to the other person that you're thinking about, or that you maybe are involved with, or want to be involved with, or were involved with. Hopefully that makes sense. For the cross watchers who are watching, it's going to be the same thing. These top 4 cards are going to be specific to the actual person whose sign you're watching. And the bottom 4 cards are going to be related to you. You would be the other in the situation, the cross watcher. So let me explain what these cards represent. So this row here, this is going to be the sign's current energy, the other person's current energy. This is going to be the sign's underlying issue or fear, the other person's underlying issue or fear. This is going to represent the sign's obstacle, the other person's obstacle. This is going to be the sign's desired outcome, the other's desired outcome. And this card here on the end is the advice or guidance card. So that's going to be how the spread itself works for this month. I am only doing 1 reading per sign for the entire month of June. And then during the month, I'm going to do some other readings as well, some like pick a card readings, some spreads that are specific to, should I reach out? Are they going to come back? Is this person the one? I just want to do more of those readings. So I'm just going to do 1 monthly love reading for each sign for June. And that is how that's going to work. So with that explained, now I'm going to clear these cards away. And we will actually move right into the pre-shuffle. Hey there, Leo. Just want to walk you through your pre-shuffle cards. The first card coming out, you have the Lovers upright. Obviously, this card represents a spiritual connection and a divinely supported love. I do think, however, given that the Sun card comes out next, it also indicates that you're really involved in what could be a very happy and successful connection. Now, the Sun card did come out upright, and this card just offers so much positive energy and so many blessings that I think really no matter what you decide or how you progress forward, you're going to be okay, truly. The Princess of Cups came out also upright. You're in a space where you're really open to any possibility. Even if one choice or option seems to be clearly better than the others, you're still open and curious about exploring the other options, even if you just explore them through mentally just to see what they might have to offer. Last card out is the Two of Pentacles. That came out reversed. I do think that you're weighing pretty heavily some priorities in your life and thinking about the goals that you've set and questioning whether they're still the same goals that you want to chase. If you're feeling overloaded or overinvested in one specific area of your life, consider whether that needs to be maybe reprioritized. Hello, Leo. Welcome to your June 2019 reading. I'm glad that you decided to click on this video to see how things are going with your love life. I did do an explanation of the spread that I'm going to be doing. I'm going to go ahead and start laying that out while I just talk to you guys a little bit. So at the beginning of this video, in case you skipped over it, there is an explanation of this spread, what each of the cards mean and their positions. I also did a pre-shuffle that I filmed along with the meditation, and as cards came out during that time, I've covered those cards with you as well by this point. So just in case you jumped straight to the reading, I wanted to let you know what you missed if you did skip over the beginning. Also, I just want to say hello to any newbies that are just watching my videos for the first time. I hope that you enjoy them and you'll take a moment to subscribe to the channel. And to the people who are returning from previous readings, thank you so much for coming back. It's always amazing seeing familiar names in the comments and getting messages from some of you guys updating me on how things are going. And last thing, I just want to let you guys know I do have a few slots open still for personal private readings. That would be during the last 2 weeks of this month. I have a couple of slots, so if you are interested in a personal reading with me, you can send me an email at keaghantarot@gmail.com, and I'll get back to you with options in terms of what I have open and the durations of those slots that I have open. So let's go ahead and dive into the actual reading now. We're going to kick off with the overall energy for this reading. Coming out here, we have the Knight of Wands. It's come out reversed. So Leo, off the bat, energetically, this card just feels, it's frustrated and annoyed is sort of the combination that's coming off this card. Now, this card does have Scorpio, Sagittarius energy, just in terms of the card itself. And so that definitely fits with the type of energy that I'm feeling coming off of the card. It's this very sort of impatient sort of Sagittarius energy, and also just this really sort of frustrated, brutish sort of energy like a Scorpio might have in the situation. I do feel like part of this is related to there being a situation that you find yourself in, Leo, in which it just doesn't seem like you can even start to unravel it. It's so complicated, or it's so, messed up in terms of how it is, that when you find yourself even trying to imagine, like, okay, what do I need to do to try to fix this? Or how can I, extract myself out of this? Or what needs to happen here? It's so messy and it's so complex that you can't even start to, it's like I'm seeing someone with like a rope that just has all these knots in it, and they're trying so hard to just get one knot to come loose so that maybe the rest of it can make sense. And it's just not at this point. It just feels like you're just seeing it's so messy that there doesn't seem to be a clear-cut way to come out of that. So I want to go ahead and look at your current energy along with the other person's current energy. So I'm going to flip these over and take a look at them. So just to show you guys what these cards are, coming out for your current energy, we have the Five of Swords upright. And for the other person's current energy, we have the Hierophant also coming out upright. So I'm actually going to start here with the current energy of the other person, because that's what I'm feeling the most drawn to. I feel that this person is in a space of really wanting to have a serious commitment. They are, I think that they've been clear about this. Like what this feels like is there has been a line drawn in the sand that either, this commitment comes forth within a certain time period, within the near future, or else this is going to be ended. This is going to be, this is going to be the end of this. I mean, this is a very direct, blunt sort of energy coming off this. This person wants the engagement ring, or they want the wedding date selected, or they want the two of you to move in together. Whatever it is for them that signifies that next level of commitment, whatever that might be, they are here for it. And they've let you know, most likely, if they've not let you know, expect this conversation to be one that happens during the month of June. They've made it clear. I'm in this for a certain amount of time, and I don't even feel like that's a lot of time. I feel like maybe like 3 to 6 months is the amount of time that they're given, and giving in terms of like, if this next step doesn't happen within this time period, I'm out. It's very certain. This person is absolutely 100%, they mean what they say. This isn't some sort of attempt to like, they're serious. If it doesn't happen, they're done with this. So let's look at you, Leo. For you coming out, you have the Five of Swords upright, which makes sense. This is really about, conflict and having, disagreeing on how things need to go. And it's a very heavy energy, because it comes across with almost like, there's a winner, there's a loser. There's no, it just feels like from you, Leo, it feels like there's no sort of like middle ground on this. You either have to give in fully or you have to win fully. And, obviously these two energies existing within a relationship at the same time. I mean, we're really at, this is the do or die moment. This relationship is either going to make it forward and moving forward successfully with this relationship because of the demands of this other person would mean taking whatever that next step is. So that could mean that, you guys have to take wherever you're at now. So for example, if you're living together now, there has to be a proposal. Or if you're proposed, the date has to be set for the wedding and invitations have to go out. Like it's that, whatever that next step is, whatever that next biggest thing is, even if you're married, let's say you're married, it's, okay, well now it's time to have kids, right? It's that sort of like, you have to take that next step. If that doesn't happen within this relationship, then this is done. This is a walk away point, I think, for both people. And I think, Leo, for you, you're just trying to go through everything in your head and think, okay, is this the person that I want to commit to in this way? Like, do I really feel this with this person? But you can't take too long to think about that. So let's go ahead and jump forward here. I want to talk about the underlying fears and issues that are contributing to sort of the energy that's going on here. So Leo, coming out for you as your own underlying fear issue, we do have the Sun card coming out reversed now. This is interesting, and I'll talk a little bit about that later, but I want to see what the other person's underlying fear issue is. We have the Nine of Swords, and that's coming out reversed. So the Sun reversed here, this is Leo for the underlying issue or fear. This is a very interesting energy for me, for you, Leo, in particular. The Sun, when it is upright, it's such a positive card. And it just signifies blessings all around and everything's going to be great. Now, because it is so powerful when it's upright, when you reverse this card, it doesn't necessarily mean like anything horrible. It just can usually mean like, maybe you are like, you need to be aware of like having rose-colored glasses about something. Maybe you are giving too much hope to something, or you're giving something a bigger chance than it really has. You're not seeing the truth of the matter. It can also represent there just being delays in things that are positive coming into your life. And at its absolute worst, for me at least as a reader, it just could point to there being some negativity going on in your life, but it's nothing that you can't handle or that you can't deal with. Okay, so this card coming out, though, within your underlying fear or issue, that's what is, interesting in terms of this card, because you have to think about it in context. That this is something that's a fear or an issue that's causing this current energetic state that's going on with you, okay? So the way that I interpret this, especially based on the energy coming from the card, is that you're really in a state where you don't take this type of commitment lightly. It's something that's very serious to you, Leo. And you want to be 100% certain before you do this, that this is the right person. Because for you, once you commit, you're in it. It's something that, you're seeing this as being, the last relationship that you have. This is the person that you're going to grow old with. This is the person who, you will be with for the rest of the time that you have ahead of you. So you're really giving this a lot of analysis, and you're trying to be cautious against, being too emotional about this decision. You're trying to actually be somewhat mental about it as well. Okay, for the other person, their underlying issue or fear, they had the Nine of Swords coming out reversed. Now, this makes sense to me pretty easily because I think the fears and the issue for this person is really some really deeply rooted issues around commitment and relationships, specifically around abandonment, that this person has had since, childhood, probably. Very long lasting, deep rooted fears. They have a lot of worry about commitment, and they are also in a space where they, it's not so much that they doubt you. They know how they feel about you. That is certain to them. But they don't actually know how you feel about them. And it's interesting because I feel like once you come out of this analysis state that you're in, if you do decide that this is the person that you do want to commit to in this way, I feel like you will actually shock them, Leo, with how much you express in terms of what they mean to you and how you feel about them. It will be something that is just mind-blowing to this person. They have no idea. For those of you who are ultimately going to decide to commit to this person, they have no idea how important they are to you at all. Their mind will be blown once you open up. For those of you who decide not to move forward into a commitment with this person, which I do feel like there are some of you who will ultimately make that decision, that this is not necessarily the right person, I still feel like you will express to them how wonderful they are and how much you've enjoyed being in relationship with them and learning about love and relationships from them. And I still feel like they will ultimately walk away from this feeling okay. They'll be sad about this relationship not working out, but they'll ultimately realize that now they're free to go find the person who does want to commit to them in the way that they want that same sort of commitment. So, the fears happening here and sort of the things that are motivating, I feel like the energy in terms of how both people are sort of dealing with their fears and issues, it's a pretty healthy approach. They're not doing anything that's really toxic or dysfunctional. They're, the other person is being very clear and they're setting a boundary and a timeline, and they're, they are respecting what they feel internally themselves. And the other person, Leo, you're taking the time to, give this the thought that it requires, and to treat it with the importance that that it is. Okay? Now let's look at the obstacle that's currently in the path of these two people. And what I mean by that is, we have all these fears and issues and we have this energy, but there's something that's blocking, this progression right now. Because if, nothing was blocking it, this would be resolved and you wouldn't be, watching this video trying to find answers about this situation. So it's clear that there's something that's blocking whatever the desired outcome is from happening. Okay, so that's where we're at in this reading in terms of exploring this. So coming out for Leo in terms of their obstacle, we have the Princess of Wands. This is equal to the Page of Wands in a typical tarot deck. And for the other person, their obstacle in their path, we have the Ace of Wands coming out upright. So Leo, I'm going to start with you here. So again, the Princess of Wands upright. This is the Page of Wands in your typical deck. So Leo, what I'm getting here is just one of your biggest concerns in terms of making this decision about commitment is you worry that there might be some sort of cost associated with this in terms of your freedom. You aren't someone who necessarily is scared of commitment, but you are scared of commitments in which you have to really sacrifice who you are as a person, or the other person would need to sacrifice who they are as a person. I feel like when you look at relationships and you think about long-term commitment, Leo, I think that you in particular, you want to be sure that both people remain proud of who they are and are able to chase after the things that they want. You don't necessarily want to feel like this commitment or this relationship that you're in is, something that's holding you back or keeping you from exploring the world in the way that you want to. So ideally for you, the person that you end up with would be, another fellow free spirit who feels, the same sort of way about life, and would be sort of a partner for you on, adventures and exploration. Now, I do feel like you do have some concerns or reservations either about this relationship and its ability to fit sort of that free spirit, two people out on adventures together energy, or you have some sort of, you have something that's in your mind that just makes you feel like you're going to have to water yourself down. That's what I'm hearing. Like, I'm going to have to water myself down in order to make them happy or keep them happy. Leo, I feel like potentially in this connection with this other person, they can sometimes make you feel like, because of how big your personality is, or because of how much attention you get, perhaps, that it's in a way something that's rude or harmful to them. And, I just want to say, like, that's not true, first of all. But you should not have to make yourself smaller in terms of like how you are or how you interact with people in order to enjoy being in a relationship, period. And so if you do feel that pressure within this relationship, you should really think about that and think about whether, that sort of sacrifice and demand is something that would exist within a relationship that's healthy. Okay. Coming out as the obstacle for the other person, we have the Ace of Wands that did come out upright. So what I think is going on with the other person in terms of the obstacle is, the Ace of Wands it represents a new opportunity, new potential. It's an inspiration sort of energy that comes with this Ace of Wands. And, it's related to, again, like new beginnings. And I feel that the obstacle in the path of this person is they don't want to keep having new beginnings with people. And that is what's causing this inability to exist within what's been going on. And it's also the thing that's sort of preventing whatever we're going to see here for the desired outcomes. This sort of energy is it's blocking that in a way, because for the cross watchers watching who are, identifying with this person, timing is always divine. And so, if I said to you, you and this person will be perfectly aligned and this will be an amazing connection in 4 years, would you rather spend those 4 years with this person, getting to know them, building upon things so that when you hit that space where you're both who you're supposed to be in order for this relationship to click, you have that history established between the two of you? Or would you rather explore other people and learn about yourself through other people and through other relationships and really work on relationship skills outside of the relationship with this person, so that when the two of you align down the road, you've learned more and explored more, and you come with a different set of tools that the two of you can share? Like either of those situations could be beneficial to this relationship and to these people inside of the relationship, right? But you have to decide. You have to make a choice. And it could be that, maybe this person isn't the one for you at all. But this pressure that you have about the next one needs to be the one, which is how I think it is for this other person. Whoever it is next needs to be the one. It needs to work out. That's so much pressure to put on yourself, to put on this existing relationship, to put on any new relationship that you're going to go into. So just keep that in mind for any cross watchers that are watching. Or Leo, if you found yourself, the energy feels a little bit flipped for you, which can happen in a general reading, just know that's a lot of pressure. That's a whole lot of pressure. So I'm curious about what the desired outcomes are. So we're going to go with Leo first. We have the Magician, and that it's reversed. Very interesting energy. And coming out for the other person in terms of their desired outcome, we have the Knight of Pentacles also reversed. So let's take a look at this Magician card. Okay, well, Leo, I'm not sure what to do with this. This card reversed is it's the trickster, manipulative, just all manipulation sort of energy. And so I don't know what that means, Leo, in terms of your desired outcome. The where I'm going to go with this, and I'll just say, if you've made it this far into the reading and this has been resonating with you, you know what this means. I'm just going to say you know what it means, but I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt, Leo, and I'm going to assume that what this means is that your desired outcome is that you just want to be certain that you're not being manipulated and that you're not being tricked, and that there isn't any sort of emotional manipulation here that's going to cause you to make a decision that ultimately isn't good for you and good for the other person. That's how I'm going to read this. Now, it could mean some of you really do want to play a game here, and we all have free will and we can do what we want, but I'm a believer in karma. And so just know that, if that is your approach, that could lead to, some energy needing to come back to you to sort of offset that. So we're going to move on from that card because I don't want to go any further into that. Let's take a look at this. We have the Knight of Pentacles coming out reversed in terms of the desired outcome of the other person. This is also sort of interesting energy to me because I feel like with this person, so this card energetically, in terms of what it means when it's reversed, it's not necessarily the type of energy that I think anyone would actually want as a desired state of being, okay? But what I do feel from this card is that for this other person, the things that they desire, the things that they are telling themselves they want, they come out of a place of really feeling like unless they are with someone, unless they have a specific type of commitment, unless they're really, it's the rings on the finger and everything is, a couple sort of lifestyle, they feel very unsafe and they feel very uneasy. And they almost have like a perfectionist sort of approach to what they want their relationship to look and feel like. And I think it's just saying, for this desired outcome, it's something that, again, all throughout this, I've been saying this is a lot of pressure down here. It's a lot of pressure. And this just shows, again, it's like, this is a whole lot of pressure that you're putting onto relationships. And I would just say, like, be very cautious that you aren't snuffing out the flames to something before it even has a chance to catch fire, just because there's so much pressure on like timing and what type of commitment it counts. That's what it feels like, right? Like only certain types of commitment actually count, and you're limiting all different types of commitment, maybe even commitment that you already have with this person, and you're not seeing the level that they have committed to you, because you're so focused on whatever that next level of commitment is. In a way, this reading feels almost much more geared towards the cross-watcher. I'm going to be honest. I think for the Leos who've listened and made it this far, I think this just gives them maybe some insight that they don't have, or confirmation of things that they did think. But really, energetically, this bottom part of the spread has just way more energy and intensity than up here. These cards, you can even look here. We have some of these brighter colors, and this is just all these like darker things, darker tones. This is intense down here. So let's take a look at the advice and guidance and wrap up this reading for you guys. So coming up for advice and guidance, we have the Ten of Pentacles that did come out reversed. This makes a lot of sense, I think. I'm going to look at the Pentacles more so in terms of the notion of, like a household. A lot of times it can just, a lot of times when we have Pentacles come out, we do think about money and wealth. But the other part to this is sort of this notion of, a shared sort of household vibe. Okay, so I do feel like with this 10 coming out, we are at a point where whatever cycle these two people have been in, that is coming to a close one way or another. It's what I said at the top of the reading, actually, and I think it's just a good way of wrapping this up and pulling everything together. For these two people, this relationship will change. It will either stop and end, and that will be an actual end to a cycle or into a relationship, or whatever the cycle has been, it will go to the next level. And so therefore the relationship again will change, and what the relationship was before, it will no longer be. It will be something different. So I just feel like, you know, it's confirmation of the energy that I felt at the top, where this, you know, you're at the yes or no point with this. There is no gray area. There is no middle ground. There's no way of prolonging this in sort of this limbo sort of space that you're in. Just the intensity from this other person, I can tell you, they are not going to have any gray area here. It's either this goes to the next level or I'm walking away. And it will be one of those two decisions. So Leo, I feel like that was a little bit intense. I hope that that did not freak you out. If it did, I'm sorry. And I really hope that, you know, you guys come to some sort of conclusion that feels good and feels, you know, right to you, and that you have a certainty in that, because this is a big decision that I think that you're making. So if this resonated with you, please leave me comments and let me know. I would love to hear from you guys. You could also just give the video a thumbs up. That just helps other people have the video shown to them by YouTube, so that if they're supposed to get this message, they have the option of doing so. And if you liked the reading and you might want to stick around, take a moment to hit the subscribe button and join the channel here. I'm really looking forward to growing the channel and seeing you guys interacting with each other in the comments, and being able to do some, you know, live events or things with you guys once we get some more people around. And you know, it's just been fun getting to see where the video ends up and who ends up watching it. And if you guys have any suggestions about anything, if there are certain spreads that you want me to do or certain videos that you would like for me to create, if you want me to do any sort of giveaways, or if you want me to, you know, whatever. I'm curious what you guys are interested in, because I'm actually here doing this and creating the content for you guys. And so I want to make stuff that you enjoy. I'm going to end this video now. I will just say thank you so much for joining me. I do hope to see you guys back. I love you all very much, and I hope that you have a great month of June, and be on the lookout for different readings throughout the month of June. I will be posting some randomly, so be sure that you are looking out for those. All right. Bye, Leo.